You are a miracle and you have a purpose. So tonight I want to go over 4 things with you. These are 4 foundational pieces that I teach in a lot of my classes. It's in my book, Freedom: 6 Steps to Mental and Emotional Freedom. And I just want to cover them with you because they are foundational pieces that I have found are important to recognize in order to find hope and purpose in your life. In life can be very depressing. It can be very difficult at times, and we can get hopeless. But if you understand these 4 things, it will help you find hope in the darkest of nights. So the first thing is the 3 things. So these are the only 3 things you have any control over in your life. So you can remember tea, drink your own tea. So your conscious thoughts, where you direct your attention, your emotions, and your actions. Those are the only 3 things you have control over. So if you find yourself trying to control the weather, trying to control other people's emotions or their thoughts about you, you are out of control. And that will lead to frustration, that will lead to depression, it can lead to hopelessness. And so stay focused on what you can control. Second thing, sometimes we envision that life should look like this. We see the illusion that life should be perfect, that we shouldn't be making any mistakes, that we're adults now, right? And we should have things figured out. And when we make mistakes, we can get hard on ourselves and we beat up on ourselves. And yet, this is an illusion. The reality is that life is a series of mountains and valleys, ups and downs. And so any achievement you have in life, that's just a mountain peak experience. You're going to go through the next valley as you learn and grow in your next journey to your next accomplishment. Most of life is spent in the valleys. We have moments of achievement, but lots of growth comes in the valleys. And so if you think about where the most civilizations are built, some of the biggest cities in the world, are they built on mountain peaks or in the valley, right? Most of them are on the valley, in the valleys. So that's where growth happens. And if you notice this with a certain perspective, if you were to take this board and flip it upside down, your deepest valleys at that point are now your highest point. It's some of the deepest, darkest times of our life that we learn the most, that grows us the most. So if you're in a deep valley, just remember, it's a valley. It's going to end as you continue your journey. And there is no destination. Life is a series of ups and downs, mountain valleys. It's a journey. And so you're not going to arrive, but it also means you're not stuck. And so remember, life is a series of mountains and valleys. Third, the clamshell. So right here in the middle is this present moment. And in any given moment, you have 2 choices. You can learn from what you're being presented, or you can avoid it. If you avoid it, you take the low road and you circle down lower and lower and lower, and it gets more painful as you go through, because life is here to teach you, to grow you. And so life makes it very difficult to avoid lessons long term. Oftentimes we'll hit this point which we call the rock bottom. I call it being slapped by life. That's where it catches our attention. We say, okay, it's painful enough, I'm going to learn. And then we learn, and we take this higher road, and we learn, and we learn, and we learn. But as you notice, we keep coming back to this point, because there's no such thing as a problem-free life. But you can have higher quality problems. And so this is stretching yourself out of your comfort zone. And as you do, your comfort zone actually expands, which is a positive thing. And so in this point, just ask yourself, am I learning or am I avoiding? If you're avoiding, take a deep breath. Ask, what is this teaching me? What am I being invited to do? And act. Get out of your comfort zone and be willing to learn. And then the final thing, right here, this little guy, the gingerbread man, all these little dots inside of him represent trapped emotions, limiting beliefs that get stuck within each of us. Oftentimes this even starts before you were born, right? So you're having emotions, you're having experiences in life, you don't know what to do with it, you don't have the vocabulary, you don't have the tools, and so it gets stored within you until you have the knowledge, the tools, the vocabulary to process it and work through it. But what happens usually is we have something that happens when you were a child and you say, okay, well, I guess people don't like me. And it was one experience where maybe someone said they didn't have time, or someone called you a name and you just had a thought, oh, they don't like me. Or maybe someone actually flat out told you when you were in kindergarten, I don't like you. And you took that in and you planted it, and it was painful. And then every time something like that happens, you reinforce it and you say, see, people don't like me. People don't like me. People don't like me. And then you reinforce it to the point where it could become part of your identity and you just think that's just who I am. But the truth is, they're just blocked emotions, they're limiting beliefs that hold you back. So as soon as you recognize that, you stop running from it, you decide to learn and grow, you can recognize, oh, that's not true. That was just a limiting belief. It was an experience that happened with one person. I can forgive myself for holding on to that. I can let go of it, and I can choose to believe that I am likable, I'm wanted, I am enough. And then as you do that, it erases one of those layers, and as you keep working on it, it gets to the point where it's gone, and you're free. You're free. And that's where I want you to be. That's where you want to be. So remember, you are a miracle, you have a purpose. You are a miracle and you have a purpose. And as you remember these 4 things, it can help you find hope even in the darkest of times. So if this was helpful for you, go and like this video, comment below what thoughts you're having. If you have any questions, comment that. Thank you for being here with me today. Remember, I'm here at Hope to Cope every day, checking in with a message of hope and to remind you that you are a miracle and you have a purpose. Thank you for being here with me today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.